Hi, you're watching the Internet Impulse channel. What funny cases do not happen in the army to any conscript who served at least a year? There are a lot of ridiculous stories that happened to him. I will show you the most epic army fails, which fell into the lens of cameras. Went to Iran during an army demonstration, which was broadcast on TV and attended by various generals. There was a curious incident. One of the girls did not want to surrender in front of the soldiers. No matter how hard they tried to break her, nothing worked. Potter worked hard this time. Guys were changing each other in an attempt to finally break the damn vessel to get out of an awkward position in front of the generals. But in the end, they gave up. Your bosses shook their heads and walked away. The vase won, and the potter who made it was taken away to build tanks, probably in the Moscow region, at the tank biathlon. On the tank turned over and stood on the tank crew from the Kuwaiti army. They decided to please the audience with a beautiful turn, and they did. The tank turned over and stood on the tank. In fact, the army men managed to overturn tanks quite often, especially when trying to drive a multi-ton vehicle on a transport platform. Probably, it is impossible to count how many such cases were caught on camera. Everything would be alright, but such overturns damaged the tank quite badly. Its repair is a very expensive pleasure, given that one such combat vehicle costs millions of dollars. And here in Minsk, a tank tried to catch up with the column from which it had fallen behind, but something went wrong. Here, in front of a huge crowd of army men, the road was in disrepair. It should have been thought to turn a heavy combat vehicle on an unsuitable pavement. In this video, the soldier clearly forgot about the principle of operation of the artillery unit. He should have stood to the side. He must have missed the briefing. And this is what happens when you install a rocket launcher on a vehicle that is not suitable for it. Here's a video instruction on how to mess up a fighter plane. Two Russian pilots are sitting in an airplane. One of them decides to do a cool, complicated stunt for the sake of spectacle, but he just didn't get the altitude right. As a result, he hit the ground with his tail and the fighter caught fire. The pilots immediately ejected. The plane turned into a pile of scrap metal for $83 million. After all, management blamed it on the pilot. Probably the most terrible fails in the army happen when a missile or mortar shell after launching does not go off as it should. In these eerie moments, the people next to them have their whole lives flash before their eyes. In general, on YouTube, you will see dozens, if not hundreds of such incidents. I've collected the funniest ones. Notice when this guy's RPD jammed, he immediately flipped it off, and already in the air, it went off. No one was hurt. But what do you think were the feelings of the sailors who saw this picture a couple of meters away? Fortunately, many military shells are designed for this kind of misfires, and therefore most often do not explode if they occur. Therefore, such cases are not so dangerous. Another thing when it comes to unsuccessful throwing of grenades. This is where it already makes sense to worry and run away. Such blunders are committed not only by cadets, but also by experienced soldiers. Sometimes soldiers forget to take into account the laws of physics, and sometimes they choose not a good place for landing. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and watch the 2 previous videos.